What's up, MetaNerdz? This video is all about one of the Empire's more rare starfighters, the I-7 Howlrunner. It was manufactured by Incom Corporation, evidence of how this manufacturer was able to play the Civil War to their advantage, as they also provided the Rebellion with their T-65B X-Wings. At a cost of 165,000 credits, it was nearly 3 times the cost of the TIE Fighter, and about 15,000 credits more than the X-Wing. At a length of nearly 11.4 meters, or 37 feet, it was a Jawa shorter than the X-Wing, or half the length of the Slave 1. Being 7.8 meters, or 26 feet across, it was a little bit wider than a TIE Fighter, and an Ewok wider than the A-Wing. At a height of 2.3 meters, or 7.5 feet, it was just a bit taller than a Wookiee, and a little more than half the height of the ARC-170. Its top atmospheric speed of 1,300 km per hour, or 808 miles per hour, makes it noticeably faster than the X-Wing, and 100 km per hour quicker than the TIE Fighter. It had separate power generators for the laser cannons and the engines, both being designed for optimal size and energy efficiency, whereas most ships just have a pool of Tabana gas that is used to generate the ions for both the engine and the weaponry. To combine this efficiency with maneuverability, its exhausts were similar to the X-Wing, being able to constrict, expand, and angle to change the amount and direction of ions being propelled out, while these maneuvering flaps added even more control when in atmosphere. Its pair of laser cannons made its firepower similar to the TIE Fighter, and was said to have similar handling, making it so TIE pilots could easily transition to the I-7 Howlrunner. Besides having a completely different profile, these two ships were pretty similar, with the main technological upgrade being its shield generator. The inspiration for this ship came from a wolf-like predator from the planet Kamar. Joe Elsley, a starship engineer for Incom, had an epiphany while watching a pack of Howlrunners, seeing that their success came from being able to stay in tight formations with enough agility to adapt to their terrain, while also having enough stamina to track their target and enough power to finish the hunt. While Elsley was thinking about how to work these traits into a starfighter, Incom Corporation was feeling the heat from Imperial officials after the X-Wing design team allowed their prototypes and schematics for this new fighter to be stolen by rebel agents. To prove their loyalty to the Empire, Incom promised that they could produce an X-Wing killer that would be faster than the TIE and better shielded than the X-Wing. But this still wasn't enough, as it didn't pack any torpedo or missile capabilities, meaning the X-Wing still packed a much bigger punch. This oversight made many feel that Incom was just playing the Empire, and a lot of Imperial officials came to disdain Incom, not allowing any of their creations to sully the hangars of the glorious Imperial-class Star Destroyers. For this reason, many of the Howlrunners that were purchased by the Empire ended up just being relegated to the older Venator-class Star Destroyers, and as defense vessels for remote outposts. In this role, they largely served as a reconnaissance vehicle, missing out on most of the action of the Galactic Civil War. But this actually helped their legacy, as the Rebel Alliance pushed to capture Shinar Fleet systems after the Battle of Endor, and TIE Fighters were so synonymous with the Empire that as more and more systems became liberated, this iconic vessel was being shot down on sight. This meant that the Imperial Remnant had few ties to work with, but these remote Imperial outposts were able to avoid Rebel focus long enough to coordinate their efforts and start to make squadrons out of I-7s. This once shunned vehicle was now a prime starfighter in the Imperial Remnant's fleets, and they were so well built that many were still being used to fight off the extragalactic invaders during the Yuuzhan Vong War. And even during the Second Galactic Civil War of 40 ABY, many Howlrunners were in the service of the Corellian Defense Force. So that's it for its history, and some cool stuff and behind the scenes facts, is that one of these was used by Cam Solusur, an advisor to the Emperor and former Jedi Knight who ended up turning back to the light and studied under Luke. And it was first introduced in the Dark Empire comic series, but expanded upon in the Dark Empire sourcebook and the Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels. So that's it for the I-7 Howlrunner. If you want to connect with us, help support this channel, or get your own copies of the reference material used to make this video, be sure to check out the links in the description. Special shout out to our supporters over on Patreon, but most important of all, remember, that ugly duckling may grow up to be your Empire's last line of defense, and the Force will be with you, always.